Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Alright. Okay, what I had. Okay. It's no secret that The Mandalorian is a huge success. The Star Wars series premiered in the early days of Disney Plus, and it has been a flagship originally programmed for the streaming service. Not only getting renewed for multiple seasons, but setting the groundwork for big spin-offs like the upcoming Ahsoka and the Book of Boba Fett. Given its popularity, it's no surprise that Lucasfilms and Disney would want more of the show, but that really makes it no less exciting to hear directly from creator Jon Favreau that The Mandalorian Season 4 is in the works months before the release of Season 3. Star Wars news has been flying around for the last few days thanks to the ongoing Star Wars Celebration Convention in Anaheim, California. From the reveal of the first Andor trailer to announcements about the developing Star Wars Skeleton Crew. And this story comes from the press line following yesterday's big Mandalorian Plus presentation. Speaking with Jon Favreau, I asked about the growing number of shows set in the New Republic era of the canon and if that could eventually lead to some kind of capstone event a la the Avengers. And it was in the filmmaker's answer that he revealed that The Mandalorian Season 4 is now being written. With television, we're very lucky that we don't have to rush things through into a half an hour to 2 hours. We get to tell stories slowly. So now, as Dave Filoni's doing, Ahsoka is very much informing the write that I'm doing for The Mandalorian. Season 4, it becomes, how should I put it, more precise. The Mandalorian Season 3 has completed principal photography, and while those new episodes are in post-production, Jon Favreau, is evidently not wasting any time preparing what will come after those chapters are finished and available on Disney Plus. As for the crossover opportunities that fans may get to see in the near future, Jon Favreau explained that determinations are wholly being made organically at this point, and that's an interesting thing that has developed since The Mandalorian began. When Favreau first started writing the show, he had a relatively blank canvas to work with as far as the time period in the Star Wars canon was concerned, and now things are developing with more specificity, said the filmmaker. When I was writing the first season of Mandalorian, I could do anything, set it anywhere. Dave Filoni would read it. We go back and forth. I would adjust, and there it was. Now we have to figure out why there are certain Mandalorians who wear helmets, certain ones who don't wear helmets. What's happening on Mandalore? Was Bo-Katan doing at the same time? How does she feel about that? Where's the dark saber? So it really creates very fertile ground for imagination for storytelling. As it starts, The Mandalorian is set approximately 5 years after the events depicted in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and that time period has gotten vastly more complicated since the arrival of the Disney Plus series. That's clearly worked to the benefit of the show and Jon Favreau. In Season 1, The Mandalorian is a relatively contained story about a bounty hunter who has been tasked with taking care of a gifted child, and the consequences that have arisen from that relationship have naturally made the New Republic era more complex and interesting, said Favreau. I think that the inevitably, no matter how simple you start, the story threads start to connect and weave and overlap. And with Dave Filoni's deep understanding of everything around the time period, opportunities will always arise when we have story meetings and conversations about, well, what character would be here now. I mean, that's really how the Luke thing happened. By the Luke thing, of course, Jon Favreau is referring to the breathtaking surprise that was the appearance of Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. The filmmakers behind the show needed to bring in a character who would be a logical choice to train Grogu in the ways of the Force, and at the end of the day, Luke was the obvious answer. It wasn't that we necessarily planned to include Luke Skywalker in Season 2, but as we were looking for Grogu to get training, we started to weigh out, well, what Jedi are around? Who's left? And it started to not make sense for it not to be Luke. as we start to tell stories, those stories take on lives of their own and they have trajectories. And then as those trajectories begin to organically intersect, larger stories with more characters start to make more sense. By that logic, things are only going to get more interesting as new pieces are put into play. The development of each Star Wars show set in the time period, be it the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, or Skeleton Crew, is going to open doors for others, and that should lead to some very exciting franchise storytelling. Clearly, there is a lot going on in the Star Wars universe right now, and you can keep track of everything that's happening with the combination of both our Star Wars timeline and our upcoming Star Wars movies and TV guide. As for The Mandalorian specifically, season 3 is currently scheduled to arrive on Disney Plus in February 2023. And stay tuned here on Cinema Blend for more updates about the developing season 4. So, I'm excited. But see, did you hear what Favreau said? They were thinking, they thought about it, and they just went with the obvious. They weren't trying to do too much or think way too hard about this. Listen, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They kept it simple. Sometimes it's better to keep it simple. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It's better to keep it simple than keep it complicated or discombobulated. Because the more complicated you make it, the more you make it complicated, the more you lose people on the story. When The Mandalorian came out, it was a breath of fresh air. It started off real slow, and then it picked up down the stretch, and then it picked up more in season 2. So, that really benefited the series. This has been a great series. I love everything about it. I believe, in my heart of hearts, like I've told everybody, even Detroit T, we talked about it. It was great that it showed him coming in the Book of Boba Fett because it basically we got to see him because it's almost been a year, maybe almost a year and a half, almost 2, that we haven't seen the character Mando. But the appearance of Luke Skywalker was beautiful. How they set it up. They didn't force it. They didn't make it cheesy or anything. It actually fit the story. So like if you do cameos, it's best to do it like within the story frame or the frame of the story because you don't want to make it cheesy or too cartoonish. You dig what I'm saying? So let me know, man, what you guys think, man. About the story, about what Jon Favreau said, man. Like I said, Jon Favreau. I don't know how to spell his name. If I said it, if I mispronounced it, I apologize. But he's a great writer. He was gonna have Iron Man good, but the studio kept messing with him in Iron Man, so he said, "Bump it, I'm not doing another Iron Man ever again," and that's why Iron Man sucked as a trilogy. So we'll see, man. I can't wait. I'm loving this Kenobi. Episode 1 and 2 have been great. I can't wait till Friday. We're gonna see episode 3 and see what that's about. Can't wait for it. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of shows I need to watch, but I'm too busy, man. I only watch the shows that I really, really love to watch, like Star Wars, Cobra Kai. I got hooked on Cobra Kai late by Cino. Shout out to Big Bro. Make sure y'all go to Carcino for Life and his Patreon, his Screen Fiend, One Crack News. He's killing it, man. He's probably, to me, like I said, I got him the best YouTuber out there. Then I got Who Did It This Time. Those two guys, shout out to Who Did It This Time. So yeah, but thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit that notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if y'all love what y'all hear, y'all can go to the description box, hit the Cash App, so you guys can donate to the page. You can donate whatever your heart's desire. Like I said, I'll take $1 or I'll take $50 million. Whatever you have, we'll accept. We also got the super chat working, and we also have the super thanks button working. So make sure you guys hit that too. So thank you for listening. We out. Deezy.